If you could go back in time, who is someone you would kill? Well, bottle it up. It's dangerous to alter history. We'll let you go back in time to kill, but it has to be a person who's been murdered before, and you gotta do it historically accurate. Yeah, that's TimeSplitters. To me, TimeSplitters was 4 split screens with friends and family since I had it on GameCube. Didn't need that mythical PlayStation 2 adapter, and if no one was around, I had bots to keep a lonely gamer company. Now, I've never played the first TimeSplitters nor Future Perfect. Just the sequel. From what I've gathered, the main characters are hot and bald. They're on a crusade to abolish rights for time eaters. These are creatures that survive by munching on units of time. They tippy-toe with no toes and their non-existing feet attached to plunger legs, with the belly bloated with history. An upper body routine centered around having prey mantis hook grip, and a stupid-looking head that's all sea monster mouth and no face. When splitting through time, you take control of a person who is planning on committing a heist, bombing, assassination, etc. These being already premeditated crimes, going through with them is harmless. Besides, a time traveler possessed me to do the murder wouldn't hold up in court. What you're here for are time crystals. Though first you gotta scratch off the to-do list of the body you're time traveling inside of. In the first mission, the main character is already using time loopholes to see what it's like to be a woman. Selected for the cross-nesting was a female commando blazing trails in 1990 Serbia. The mission is to infiltrate a Russian military base where a decent recipe for zombies has been developed. Right from the start, I left the no asking for help days of the past by googling how to destroy this alien time capsule. As a kid, I probably blew it up with remote mines randomly, since I recall beating this level and a few others up until the one involving stealth in Tokyo. I've been holding on to this unfinished quest for over a decade, so I'm here today to complete the story. Whatever it takes, playing on easy mode, using guides, and eventually choosing to save the game whenever I want. The second level takes place in Gangland, Chicago during the 1930s, revolving around a nerd who collects cigarettes and guns. One night, deciding to sample his firearm hobby in real life, he ran the streets gunning down mobsters, which escalated into mutilating cars. Words get around to a man named Big Tony, who of course is a mob boss. Says it right in his name. Well, he's out to dock cannolis with whoever is causing his crew trouble. Once his gravy is spilled, you may exit through the nearest portal. On to the third time period. In the late 1800s, when the undead conquered the Catholic Church, there was not an altar boy in sight. Ghouls prefer blonde, hourglasses. Here to put a stop to this practice was a funny lady gesture. Midway through the process of kicking out sinful squatters from the cathedral, the hunchback of Shotgun joined in. Then a ginormous tenant with eye magic showed up. Imagine being a landlord. No matter how big your shoe size or lawyer is, you're not kicking out this giant. Never mind. Bullets knocked over the blank staring beast with horns dangling from his cheeks. Afterwards, it's another boss fight. A much smaller one, and he's dressed like a gentleman who doesn't deserve to die on a roof. Fourthly, advancing to the year 2280, where you're mentally in charge of an astronaut whose head is too large to fit in a space helmet. He aims his big-headed aggression towards aliens, using a pistol that fires pinball lasers that may ricochet into multiple targets, including yourself. This is the future of gun control. Make guns that shoot the shooter back. How wacky. Weird as the aliens on this planet. It's well known that this race's facial features retreat from their ugly face as they age. Ears and nose vanish during their youth. Next, the eyes droop lower and lower out of socket before falling out. The mouth is the last to go, slowly sliding out like can-shaped canned food. That is such a terrible way to grow old. Do these aliens a favor with a turret sequence, anything. Gotta give them something before departing through a portal on a ship. Chugging along to the 5th, we're now in the far-off year of 2019. Halfway through the story, you go to Tokyo. It's the mission a young me never got past since I couldn't figure out how to hack the hacker. Thanks to infinite info, I was resourceful enough to know to look at the camera to watch the hacker put in their password. First impressions of the rest of Tokyo? Not much. I'm happy that the remainder of the level you can be a loud idiot. That's it. What also brought me pleasure was battling half a time eater while it's being sucked off by 2019 technology. The 6th installment of Time Split occurs in the Wild West. This cowboy protagonist appears to be a cool, blunt-smoking bounty hunter. A close assumption. Really, he's the sheriff from Blazing Saddles. That's why every white man with a 6-shooter wants him dead. Not a bother at all, for he's too eager to bust out one of his plutonic hoes to care. To do this, gunpowder gets poured about like Postal 2 gasoline, yet no clue how to ignite it. I had to look up to the old timers again to learn there's a conveniently placed TNT wagon behind the jail. Perhaps the town of bandits are turning this ghost town around. I wondered what this empty room's purpose will be. Followed a damsel in distress to find out it's a battered woman's shelter. This Dixie bitch was saved from a fire she could have walked past. To show gratitude, she magnetizes her ridiculous tits right on the boundary boundary of your personal space circle. Finishing that leads to ripping up the poster boy, then climbing the calendar to level 7. In the 1970s, spies being strapped to tables with lasers pointed at their crotches was the most searched porn category in the world. The top star, known as Hangs Long, got kidnapped by a horny fan who wanted to film their own home movie. Long wasn't having that without a paycheck. Turns out this perverted villain has an entire fucking facility dedicated to edging with lasers. He was willing to blow it all up for Hangs Long. To escape, Long must terminate these nasty employees and put out any fires. The only hard part is putting a bomb in a box. Whipped out the save state for this after returning to a checkpoint countless times. Couldn't have gotten to the 8th without it. Here in the 1920s at an Aztec ruins, a young Dr. Eggman is searching for the Chaos Emeralds. He hasn't gained his egg shape nor his mustache color yet. Still, he's a strapping lad that took a crossbody from a stone golem and didn't have every bone in his body broken. Could have been a styrofoam golem. I mean, he was stunned by a smack from a hat. Doubt it. There's a tree who hunts humans and is immune to arrows and bullets, so a rock-solid golem's gotta be robust. They just gotta. This is a fierce environment where the natives speak crossbow. Eggman hid behind the language barrier and slaughtered them for their Chaos Emerald. Merely stepping stones to get to the golems, who've been hyped up to be invincible, but they just fall in trap doors like dummies. 3 were fought, 1 disappeared. Another accidentally got knocked in by an explosion, which revealed itself to be an assist from a watermelon bomb thrown by a monkey. Then the last golem was so excited to see Eggman, he charged right into a hole. We're almost to the end, at level 9, finally far ahead in the future. The year 2315 at a robot factory. I like the tall, slow robots that take more damage than the little robots. Yeah, just let me see that final 10th level. It just had to be a space station. 2401. You've come full circle to the intro of the game. Main bald man can now be himself, without his partner though, since she gets pushed down by lasers, indicating her time had been 8. No hair over there began fighting his way to an exit. Detonation timed again. He'd spend it annihilating the Time Eaters in their Covenant spaceship. What about this little fella? I wanted to know his backstory, although I'm too busy on a mounted gun blasting down 20 fighter crafts as my body armor crumbles due to no oxygen. Of course, I didn't see the protective suit until after. Yippee woohoo, beat the game on easy and was given cardboard cutout privilege. The only way to make any of these women flat. Tons of unlockable cheats, characters, and such. Sadly, to get them, you gotta replay through the story multiple times, beating the game with your screen off, then with the controller unplugged and your shirt off. Trust me, TimeSplitters will detect cheating. Also, to unlock shit, challenges must be done. Difficult ones with too short of a playtime, such as glass breaking. Yep, that's TimeSplitters too. Go back and watch this video, but play an emo game where you die a little inside every time I say the word time.